Once upon a time, in a bright and cheerful meadow, there lived a curious little rabbit named Benny. Benny was no ordinary rabbit. He had big floppy ears and a nose that wiggled whenever he got excited. He loved to hop around the meadow, exploring nooks and crannies, searching for adventures. Benny lived in a cozy burrow with his family and friends, who were all adorable bunnies like him. One sunny morning, as Benny was munching on his breakfast of delicious clover, he spotted something glimmering in the distance. What could it be, he wondered. He quickly finished his breakfast, twitched his nose with excitement, and decided to find out. Off he hopped, past daisies and butterflies until he reached the edge of a great big thicket. As he pushed through the thicket, something magical happened. Benny stumbled upon a hidden entrance covered in colorful vines. It glowed bright orange and gold. Benny's eyes widened with wonder. Could there be treasure inside? He thought. He took a deep breath and with a little hop, stepped through the magical entrance. Once inside, Benny couldn't believe his eyes. He found himself in the most marvelous forest he had ever seen. It was a forest filled with bright, glowing carrots and all sorts of talking vegetables. There were smiling broccoli, dancing peas, and even a wise old onion who wore glasses. Benny felt like he had jumped right into a fairy tale. "Welcome, welcome," called a cheerful voice. Benny looked around and saw a tall carrot wearing a crown. "I am King Carrot, ruler of the magical carrot forest. We've been expecting you, Benny." "Expecting me?" Benny asked, hopping closer. "Why?" "Because you are brave and curious. We need your help," King Carrot said, his voice sounding a little sad. "Every day, a sneaky fox named Felix comes to the edge of our forest, trying to steal our bright carrots. Without our carrots, we will lose our magic." Benny's big ears flopped with concern. He loved magic, and he couldn't let the forest lose its wonder. "What can I do to help?" he asked. "Only one thing," the king replied. "I need you to solve my riddle. If you do, I will grant you a wish that can help us save our forest and your bunny friends." Benny's heart raced. "I love riddles. What's the riddle?" King Carrot cleared his throat. "Listen closely. I am not alive, but I can grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but I can drown. What am I?" Benny thought hard. He rubbed his chin with his little paws. Not alive, but can grow. Needs air. Aha!" he shouted with excitement. "It's a fire! A fire can grow if fed, but it doesn't have a mouth." King Carrot's eyes sparkled. "You are correct, brave Benny. You have solved my riddle." With a magical flourish, King Carrot waved his leafy hand, and a beautiful golden spark floated towards Benny. "Make your wish." Benny closed his eyes tight and thought of his bunny friends. "I wish for us to be safe from Felix the fox and for the carrot forest to be protected." With that wish, the golden spark whirled around Benny and popped with a bright light, sending magical energy across the forest. Suddenly, Benny spotted movement at the edge of the forest. It was Felix the fox, sneaking closer with his eyes set on the glittering carrots. But just then, a huge wall made of shimmering light appeared between Felix and the enchanted carrots. Felix stopped in his tracks, his eyes wide. "What is this? I can't get through," he howled in frustration. Benny giggled with joy. "It worked! The magic has protected the forest." King Carrot smiled down at Benny. "You have saved not just our forest, but your friends too. Since you have shown such bravery and cleverness, you have brought happiness back to the carrots and bunnies alike." Benny beamed with pride. He could hardly wait to tell his friends about his adventure. With a happy hop, he waved goodbye to King Carrot and the vegetable friends, promising to visit again soon. Benny hurried back through the magical entrance, his little heart racing with excitement. As he reached his burrow, he called out to his bunny friends who were playing in the meadow. "You won't believe what happened. I found a magical forest and solved a riddle, and now we are all safe from the fox." His friends gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder. Benny knew that they would always remember the day the magical carrot forest brought a little more magic into their lives. From that day on, whenever they heard the rustle of leaves or saw the glimmer of orange in the distance, Benny and his friends would smile and be reminded of their adventure. They learned the importance of being brave and clever, and how their choices could protect those they loved. And as for Felix the Fox, he learned to stay away from the magical carrot forest, for he knew that those clever bunnies and their magical friends would always be ready to protect their home. And so, the little rabbits lived happily ever after, filled with whispers of magic, laughter, and friendship. The moral of the story is that courage and cleverness can help solve problems, and caring for friends and the world around you brings true magic into your life.